So, John, please tell me, because I'm dying to hear, where is the most embarrassing place you've ever had to pee?
Well, there was one time, many years ago, after a night of drinking, I caught the last train back from Manchester to Leeds, which is about an hour.
Ish, yeah, give or take.
Got on the train, already dying for the toilet, but I just caught the train at the last minute, and it was the last one of the night, so I didn't really have a choice. Only to discover that all of the toilets were broken.
Lovely,
and closed.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of try and stick it out, and it took longer and longer. The train kept going, and
Did you go in the doorway?
I did not go in the doorway. No.
Baggage rack?
Baggage rack? No. So I didn't do that. No, but things were getting pretty dire because I couldn't even stop it. I couldn't get out at any of the other stops because it was the last one of the night, so I would have been stranded. So I think I made it about 20 minutes to half an hour, and it was real like panic stations and. It was kind of an empty carriage. There weren't a lot of people sitting near me, and there was no one sitting directly in my line of view.
So did you think, maybe I could just get away with this?
Well, there was nobody sitting near me, but somebody who had got off at a previous stop had left an empty bottle of Lucozade.
I thought you were going to say somebody who had already got off and left had also peed themselves.
So
I thought, well, if I'm just adding to it, like it's no trouble.
Well, exactly. If it becomes like a communal thing, sure. Sadly not. No, but they had left a bottle of Lucozade on the table across from me, so at a certain point I took a good look around me, made sure there were no inspectors coming, and did what had to be done.
Wow.
And there may have been a slight overflow situation.
I was going to ask.
It was not my proudest moment.
Oh wow, oh dear, crikey.
I do hope I
did you put it in the bin?
I was going to say I don't remember. I hope I remember to throw it away at the end.
Yeah, just hopefully nobody went, oh, free bottle of Lucozade.
Yeah, or some poor homeless person. Like, someone's throwing away, reaching through the bin later. Oh, a free full bottle of Lucozade. Because the colour's not dissimilar.
Some films are fine just the way they are. Other films sometimes take it way too far. But really, how bad could it get? Let's go beyond the box set.
Welcome everybody to Beyond the Box Set, the podcast where we pitch prequels, sequels and spin-offs to films that don't have any. I'm Harry, and joining me as always is John.
Hello.
And today, it's Girls Trip.
Yes, one of your choices. So tell us why.
Thought it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Hadn't seen it before and heard good things.
So this is the movie from, I think, 2 years ago that was a big comedy hit, particularly in America, that is probably most noticeable for launching the career of Tiffany Haddish. I also hadn't seen this film, but I'd obviously become aware of her being very much a very likeable person in pop culture. She gives fabulous interview. But yeah, I hadn't seen it either. So, yeah.
Pretty good. It's got a lot to say.
This movie was great fun. Like, I'm not normally the biggest fan of gross. Would you call this gross out? I mean, it's not really gross out. It has its moments.
It's only got one or two moments, but it's not how it defines itself. I don't think.
No, but I think this kind of like very broad comedy doesn't often really do it for me. I prefer things a little bit like subtler, a bit cleverer. But I don't know, something about this. I think it's just the fact that the cast were all having so much fun.
Yeah,
this is really elevated by the cast. Like not just Tiffany Haddish. So the main four. It's Tiffany Haddish, Queen Latifah, Regina Hall and Jada Pinkett Smith, and they all just seem like they're just perfectly cast. They seem like they really. I mean, who knows? Maybe they're just good actors. They seem like they've really got along. It's just the energy is so high throughout the whole thing. I mean, yeah, I had a great time for it. It is at least half an hour too long.
Definitely.
Yeah. This comes back to
it starts slow and it ends slow.
Yeah, the middle portion great, but it definitely slows down in the last half hour. Like, yeah. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Comedies shouldn't be over 2 hours. It's very rare that a comedy can sustain 2 hours plus.
Yeah.
This would have been a great, 75 to 90 minute movie.
Yeah.
And it's still great, but yeah, there's definitely stuff they could have taken away from it. But on the whole, I had a lot of fun, and I am very much looking forward to this plot summary.
All right, well, let's see what I can do.
Dina, can we just bring it down a notch?
Oh, can we get some dick this weekend?
You know what? I need you to use your lady mouth.
I need you to use your lady mouth.
All right. Let's just use Lisa's version of lady mouth.
No, seriously, for real though. How long has it been since you got that back blown out?
I don't know. 2 years, maybe?
Wait.
Since Terrence?
I don't know. I mean, I take a vigorous spin class, I read really intense erotica, and I invested in a very powerful detachable shower head, which has been very good to me, mind you.
Okay, that story just put me in the menopause. You getting some this weekend?
Straight up, you gonna get at least 2 dicks inside of you.
For crying out loud, Dina, we only gonna be there for 3 days.
Well, 3 dicks then.
Okay, so there's, like you said, there's 4 different characters. There's Regina Hall, who is married to Mike Coulter.
A.k.a. Luke Cage, yeah.
Yes.
Her character's called Ryan.
Ryan, yeah, sure. And they are a celebrity couple. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure why they're celebrities, but they are.
They did mention he's a retired football player,
Oh,
some
yeah,
kind of
that's it.
sports
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
And she's like this lifestyle guru kind of author, like kind of a low rent Oprah kind of thing. Yeah, she's written this book called You Can Have It All, about women having it all.
Yeah.
And so she's got this image to maintain, which is kind of a big factor in her plotline, but we'll get to
Yeah.
that.
And so, the two of them together, they're helping maintain that image, because I guess that's their main source of income these days, of just being this amazing looking couple that's completely in love and they're very happy and everybody loves them and, everything's perfect.
Yeah.
Which, of course, later we find out is not perfect, but I'll get into that. Then we also have Jada Pinkett Smith, who is a mother. What else is going on?
She's a divorced mother of 2.
Okay.
And she's not slept with anyone since her husband left her several years earlier.
Right, sure.
And so she's very sexually frustrated. Or more so the other characters are sexually frustrated on her behalf, I'd say.
Yes, they really are.
They put a lot of pressure on her, but
Yeah.
yeah, clearly like she's going through a bit of a dry spell. She's very... The thing is that all these 4 characters went to college together. And so they were all quite wild together.
Does that imply they're all the same age?
I was going to get to that, yeah. The ages... I have a lot of questions on age.
Tiffany Haddish is like a generation below Jada Pinkett Smith. Like, they could literally be mother and daughter.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. I think we're supposed to believe in the world of this film that they are all roughly the same age. That they went to college together, yeah. I know, that's a big stretch.
Yeah. Yeah, that really is.
Well, also, I mean, not to be cruel, but there's a lot of stuff about this in this film about like children and like I'm gonna get pregnant tonight and all this kind of stuff, or characters wanting to be pregnant, characters thinking they're pregnant. 3 out of 4 of these women are almost 50.
Yeah.
Like, it's not high risk anymore. I don't know how old they're supposed to be in the film, but like, yeah.
Jada Pinkett Smith is surely older than 50, is she not?
She, Queen Latifah, and Regina Hall are all about 49 to 51 range.
Okay,
so.
cool.
And then Tiffany Haddish is like 38.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I thought she was a bit younger than that.
yeah, same. I was surprised too. I thought she was like mid-20s,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, she's late 30s, but yeah.
Well done.
I guess they're all playing significantly younger than they are supposed to be. I mean, there's some of the flashback scenes at this opening. Like, we open with the flashback of them all as actual college students. And
Yeah.
it is just hysterical. Like, again, Tiffany Haddish can kind of pull it off. The other 3, I mean,
No.
we open with some very strong wig work, but even that,
Yeah.
But whatever, just go with it. So, yes,
One thing that I also enjoyed about this film throughout, they never try and avoid having Jada Pinkett Smith stand next to Queen Latifah. There's a big height difference right there.
There's a very big height difference, yeah.
Like, Jada's there wearing 6-inch heels and she's still like a foot or 2 shorter. Okay, so yeah, that's Jada. Let's see, Queen Latifah, what's she up to? She's a reporter, blogger, or...
Yeah, she's like a Perez Hilton type. So she's been like this very successful, very smart journalist. It's apparently in college she studied journalism, graduated with top honours. Everyone thought she was going to be like this great journalist, and now she's working. She has her own blog called Sasha's Secrets, where it's just like it is like TMZ or Perez Hilton, but it's just like really low rent celebrity gossip. Like they do a thing with Kevin Hart's balls have shrunk up and he's wearing adult diapers or some stupid joke. So the idea is that she's doing this. Really
Did you notice that they gave him special thanks in the credits?
Did they?
Yeah.
Thank you for putting up with this.
You know, like special thanks to the state of Georgia and to Kevin Hart.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, there was a lot of stuff in the credits. Like, so many people were credited in this movie because they used stock concert footage of them at some point.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Because, like, I looked through and, like, I did... Well, firstly, I did not recognise any of the people in this, apart from people who were specifically pointed out, like, it's P. Diddy!
Sure.
And so, like, okay, I got that.
Yeah, it's
but,
not your
like,
world, that's fine.
Mariah Carey was not in this.
Did you just pronounce her Maria Carey?
I did, yes.
Oh, come on.
I was very 50-50 on it. I didn't know.
It's Mariah Carey. She's at the very end.
Yeah.
She doesn't speak. She just, again, there's footage of her singing a song.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Mariah Carey. Oh, God.
I wasn't sure.
Yes, you were. You knew what you were doing.
I knew... Whatever.
There was Sasha,
a journalism major with intelligence to shine on the country's most respected publications. Then she ended up doing a different kind of journalism. It may not be Pulitzer Prize winning, but she's making it happen.
She's gonna be fine. I don't even know why,
Okay, so that's what Queen Latifah is. And then Tiffany Haddish, we first meet her when she is getting fired from her job in an office. Don't think it says what it is or what matters.
Her job is never defined, and I had questions.
Yeah,
but actually,
I would love to know how the job interviews went.
Yeah, and what was she doing, and how well is she paid? Because there's a point quite early in the film where she buys a round of shots for an entire plane.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, although it does later on. To be fair, later on, she's stolen Ryan's credit card, hasn't she? So yeah, I've maxed out your card, you bitch, or something.
Okay, yeah, there is that. Fair enough. But also, is alcohol on planes not included?
Don't know. She seemed pretty happy. Maybe that's why she said it. I don't know. She seemed pretty happy to be buying.
I mean, also it's a first class flight.
Yeah, you'd think they get them anyway. But I don't know. I've never been privileged enough to fly first class, and it's certainly not free when you fly regular.
Okay.
No, it charge you a fortune.
I don't know. I don't fly.
You don't fly, no. Yeah.
When you get first class trains, it's free.
Really? Well, yeah, good for you. I should get first class more often, but no.
Yeah. Get a lot of free wine. Beer's never that good. The wine's alright.
Okay.
Makes me feel posh.
Wow. I should think riding first class would be enough to make you feel posh, surely.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just like, you get a little bit more leg room and stuff, and you don't feel that posh. But then when you're there sipping wine, like, oh, I'm fancy.
Oh, okay. Okay, fine. What a lovely image I've got of you now. Just stretching your legs out, man spreading, sipping wine. Like, oh, I'm so fancy. That's you next week. But yeah, so actually there is a scene before that with Tiffany Haddish, which is obviously the intro scene when we're getting introduced to the characters and their friendship. And her one is the girls accompany her at the sexual health clinic. And then she comes running out going, "It's chlamydia, y'all, it's curable." So that kind of sets up what her character's all about.
Okay, cool. Wow, I really missed this. I was kind of phased out at the start of this film.
That's a bad point to phase out. Like, that's
I know. But also, like I said before, it was a bit slow at the start.
Oh yeah, it definitely builds. Yeah,
it really gets going in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah, so we see her getting fired from her job for reasons that, I was going to say reasons unknown, but not at all.
The reasons are entirely there. She attacks someone.
She beat up a co-worker, seems to deny the fact that she's done anything wrong, and also completely misunderstands the fact that she has been fired.
I took it more as the fact that she just wouldn't accept that she was being fired.
I was kind of thinking that too.
It's like, oh no, I'm not. It's fine.
Yeah, so she gets fired, leaves her job, and walks out while whacking a guy with a keyboard or something.
Yeah, saying like snitches get stitches.
Yeah.
She seems volatile. That's her character. She goes from 0 to 60 pretty easily.
Yeah, but as we said in a previous episode with Guy Pearce and Priscilla, she's somebody you want in your friend group for fun times.
Sure, yes. She's a necessary part of their chemistry.
But notice how she does not have a best friend.
No, probably not. I think her best friend's probably Jada.
She gets paired with Jada.
I guess because the other two have Queen Latifah and Regina Hall have the main like plot, I guess. So the other two are kind of So maybe like by default. But,
I guess.
There was Dina. She was a risk taker.
It's chlamydia, y'all. That shit you get cured.
But that's our girl.
Yeah, and so they all decide to go to this festival, which is happening in New Orleans.
The Essence Festival, yes.
Essence Festival. Well, actually, sorry. What's her face? Regina Hall. She has been invited to be the keynote speaker at an event at this festival. And so, she's invited, and I guess with a couple of friends or whatever.
Well, she decides to reunite the Flossie Posse because they've not... In the intro, we learned that they were best friends at college and they supported each other for all these kind of ups and downs of life. But as they've entered like this middle-aged kind of period, they've kind of... Life's drifted them all apart from each other and they've not actually hung out together for 5 years.
Yeah.
So she's like, right, I've got a holiday to New Orleans. It's a party, it's a concert. It's time to reunite the Flossie Posse, which is what they call their friendship circle.
Yeah.
And so they all reunite and fly out to New Orleans.
Yeah, and have, I think, 3 nights out there.
I mean, I lost track of all time in this film in terms of how long it was supposed to take.
Yeah.
3 nights seems about right, but yeah.
And, I mean, there's not really much for plot from here. The main part of the film is just hilarity ensues.
Just one comic set piece after another.
Yeah, I mean, plot-wise, it's more, they're out there, they very quickly, Queen Latifah is sent a photo of Regina Hall's husband kissing somebody else.
Yes.
From a paparazzi who say, like, would you like to report on this? And so she goes and, well, they all 3 of them talk to her about it, and turns out that she knows that he cheated on her this one time, and they're having counselling and they're trying to work it out, and they're going strong and they're working together to get through it.
Well, so she says.
Well, yes, and I think so she believes.
Probably, yeah, maybe, yeah. Well, she seems like she's really just trying to keep it together to keep the public image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we do see her a couple times in the bathroom looking at herself in the mirror, telling herself how amazing she is.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So, yeah, she's putting a lot of pressure on herself.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which we see is very unhealthy.
Yes.
Yeah, and so none of her friends are really okay with that, that, you know, her husband cheated on her and that she's just trying to get through it. Yeah, and then what happens?
Well, basically, the entire rest of the film is just them all. They're just hammered for the entire rest of the film.
Yeah, I was trying to just do the actual plot before just getting into each little bit.
Sure. Oh, okay, sure.
The actual plot of just that's the only plot line, really, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. So I guess what happens is... they meet the husband. The husband's out there too for this because they're supposed to be doing a speech together, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, that's it, yeah.
So he's there too, and they keep running into him, and it turns out that the woman he's having an affair with, Simone with the big butt, that's who she is.
Yeah.
She's also out there,
Yeah.
so that causes a lot of problems, a lot of heartache for Regina Hall. Tiffany Haddish basically attacks him at one point, like with a broken bottle. Like,
Oh, yeah, and gets them all kicked out of the hotel.
yeah, which one of an early favourite scene of mine when she's just then stood outside the hotel just yelling ridiculous stuff about how no one should stay in the hotel because it's haunted and she was almost fucked by a ghost.
Yeah.
There was a lot in this when I felt like I was just seeing Tiffany Haddish ad-lib. I don't know how much of this was in the script or how much was her. It felt very natural, like just her just going off. But who knows? But yeah, basically the main conflict of the film is that so she's really trying to keep up appearances and be forgiving of her husband and try and work it out. Tries to convince herself of all the things he says when he says he's sorry and he's you know. But meanwhile, Sasha, the Queen Latifah character, she's got this photo that she's under pressure to put out into the public because she needs the money because we found out she's broke. Then the photo does get leaked.
Well, firstly, Queen Latifah says, "Oh, I could leak this," and then like you can get ahead of it. You can plan to get ahead of it.
Yeah,
and
they kind of come to an
I'll
agreement,
leak it when you're ready.
Yes.
Yeah, so that happened, but before that happens, they strike up a deal with Simone, where Simone's like, "Okay, well, if you just pay me some payments, because by the way, I'm pregnant."
Oh, that's it. Well,
yeah,
that makes things worse when she finds out that she's pregnant.
Yeah, it makes things worse, but then I guess somewhat better, but well, not, but.
They could potentially deal with it, yeah.
Yeah, when it's like, pay me monthly payments for the baby, and, I won't speak.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And everybody's like, okay, yeah, great, let's do that. And then the photo leaks, and, Queen Latifah is accused of leaking it.
Yes.
Which obviously she doesn't. And somehow all four of them break up for that reason.
Yeah, it just devolves into this very large argument,
Yeah, which Tiffany Haddish just keeps walking away from and coming back.
Yeah. I like how she just makes that entirely about herself.
Yeah.
Because it's not her argument.
No, not at all. Like zero input, but yeah.
This is a very specific issue between Queen Latifah and Regina Hall, but it ends with Tiffany Haddish just giving this very long fuck you all speech.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Lisa. And fuck both of y'all too with y'all raggedy fake asses. Both of y'all bitches is fake. Y'all don't even know a real friend when you see one. You know what? You know what? Here. Give Lisa back her raggedy ass phone. Oh, wait, hold up here, because I don't need you calling the police on me. Take your card. Oh, and yes, I'll match that motherfucker out with your low ass balance. Stupid ass. Oh, and I don't need you talking shit or calling me. Here, take your driver's license so you can get on the plane with your nasty ass, dirty ass, nasty ass husband that fuck Instagram bitches. You gonna mess around and get the clap, bitch. I can't believe you motherfuckers. Someone fuck me a motherfucking celebrity, stupid ass bitches. I hate y'all. And I love you, but I hate you, bitch.
Yeah, and so then she goes on stage and does
Regina Hall goes on stage, yeah.
Yeah, and starts doing a keynote speech with her husband. Her husband, I think, says a few things at the start, does he?
He introduces
her, that's it.
Oh, yeah, and then she does this whole speech of how strong her marriage is. She says knows these rumours are out there, but it's doctored.
He's supposed to keep on to the script. And
yeah.
Stuff
it's like
that,
damage limitation, yeah.
Obviously, break script.
Midway through a classic mid-speech.
Yeah, to which point the people backstage are like, oh, it took me ages to write that.
Yeah. And we'll talk about her poor agent.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she just completely shames him. He at one point tries to get up and say something. One of my favourite bits of the film when she's like, sit your ass down. And like everybody in the audience is just like, woo!
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, she does this whole speech about being, well, independent and not having everything and, just loving what you actually have. And, It's a much better message.
Absolutely,
as opposed to you can have everything, because nobody can have everything.
Exactly, yeah.
And you'll just be unhappy.
Exactly, yeah. Instead of putting out this like perfect image that no one can really attain, she admits to her flaws, and her friends support her, and it's a happy ending for them all, I guess. They reunite, they make up, obviously, and then they're just best friends forever.
So she gets offered the deal to this show that was previously offered to her and her husband for a lot of money, and she gets offered that deal instead, just by herself.
Yes, which she says she'll only take if Queen Latifah can be her creative partner. So that's how their friendship is repaired. So yeah.
Which, works very well. Happily ever after. Yeah. That's the boring bit out of the way.
Yeah, a lot of that is the most boring. A lot of the actual plot constitutes the most boring part of the film and just takes up the last half hour.
Yeah.
The fun stuff is just the hour before that of them just being drunk messes.
Which I really enjoyed. Especially thinking about, wow, Jada Pinkett Smith is so above this, but I love that she's doing it.
Well, I mean, like, I've seen her in this, and I know she's done films, obviously, but mostly in the last, 5 or 6 years, I've seen her in this, and I've seen her in Batman. And she was pretty campy in Batman. So I'm just coming around to the idea that it's good fun.
Yeah.
She seems like she just has fun.
Yeah. Okay, well, what was your favourite bit of the different scenes? Mine was the dance-off.
The dance-off was good. Well, let's go through them somewhat chronologically. So after they get kicked out of the hotel, because Tiffany Haddish full-on attacks Mike Coulter with a broken bottle, and understandably, they're ejected. So then they have to check into a much cheaper motel, which is basically a brothel.
Yeah.
It's basically where...
It's weird that that's the only thing was... Yeah. There was nothing in between that hotel and that brothel.
Well, to be fair, it's a festival weekend, and they do say all the other hotels are booked up,
I suppose, but surely there's something better than that.
Well, that wouldn't be as funny though, would it? So
True.
They end up in this crack den almost, pretty much, and then some gross old man kind of comes staggering in looking for his local prostitutes, and they're like, "Oh my god, we're in a room used by $5 hookers or something." He's like, $5? I get $3 change.
Yeah.
And they they kick him out, and then Jada Pinkett Smith sprays him in the eyes, which is really likely. And then we get a full frontal nude scene, and he basically just presses himself against the glass, like, "You want this? You want this?" And a consistent.
I did not see that coming at all.
No, well, that's it, because I think what makes this film stand out from a lot of these kind of comedies is that it actually goes to the place that a lot of places pull back from. It actually shows you full old man penis, and just their reactions in the whole film, the screaming just cracked me the fuck up.
And then Tiffany Haddish just cackling in the background.
That's it. That's it. You've got Regina Hall and Queen Latifah just screaming in horror, and then you've got Tiffany Haddish just cackling, loving it, and then Jada Pinkett Smith just goes, "I don't find this amusing at all."
Yeah.
It's great. It's just
Yeah. I mean, I guess that the high point of the movie is, I'm maybe skipping ahead a little bit, when Tiffany Haddish buys absinthe from somebody on the street, and the guy says, "That'll last you 5 years," and she's like, 5 months? Okay! And to be honest, she probably gets through most of the bottle in that one night.
She does. You see her pour it in equal quarters into 4 shot glasses.
She pours it into bigger glasses. It's actual drinks.
Drinks. Yeah,
she spikes the drinks, including the agent who has now shown up for reasons that I wasn't too sure on, but whatever.
Yes.
The agent who has previously been given a talking to about don't use colloquialisms, girl and stuff like that. Just don't do it. And the agent's just like, okay, sure, and leaving
Yeah, she's not getting that memo.
No,
she's.
I'm really excited to meet the Velocity Posse. You girls are going to be kikiing all weekend.
Okay. Liz.
Yeah.
And I say this out of love.
Preach, girl.
Please refrain from saying things like preach or go girl, bye Felicia, ratchet, or any other colloquialisms that you may have heard or looked up on Urban Dictionary. This weekend, over 500,000 Black women of all sizes, shades, from all different socioeconomic backgrounds are descending on the Crescent City to celebrate Black womanhood in all its glorious forms. You, my dear friend, are a guest. Act accordingly.
I'm not even offended. You're the best. Have fun on your hashtag Black Girl Magic Weekend. Girl, bye.
Yes, and so they all get well, they all drink all this absinthe.
I don't think they realise what she's putting.
No,
she's just making. She's like giggling to herself while she's doing it. Like she's just a joyful troublemaker, which I really enjoyed. She's like, oh, this is going to be funny. Like,
they don't realise until suddenly they're all at the club, and it's Tiffany Haddish, Queen Latifah, and Jada Pinkett Smith. They're all sat around a table, I believe, while Regina Hall and her agent have a very important meeting with
a very important business meeting in a club.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, with somebody important.
This producer,
they're trying to make a lot of money of and increase that money quite significantly.
Yes.
Essentially get the deal that they get at the end of the film. And so the three girls that start together, they all start tripping out quite significantly, which great effect at this point. Like suddenly when Jada Pinkett Smith becomes really big and everything's really deep and slow. But then she works it out like instantly.
Yeah, I like the fact that they knew. Well, she
knew.
Which
Which makes me think, you've done this before, Jada.
Oh, sure, that's
Many
it.
times.
Yeah. Not for a few years, but yeah, it's like... No, this whole club scene was hysterical.
Yeah, so they start tripping. Jada's like, wait, Tiffany Haddish, did you spike our drinks? And she's like, yeah, I did. And she's like, well, if you spiked ours, then you spiked hers as well. And they're like, okay, well, we need to rescue her. And then it just
devolves.
It's out of hand.
Well, I like how
out of hand. Because, like, what is it, Queen Latifah starts making out with a lamp?
She full on fucks a lamp.
Yes, sorry, yeah.
She's fucking... you see her, like, make eyes at this hot guy, and then this hot, tall guy, and then she starts making out with him, and it's like, okay, she's poured. And then it just, like, cuts to reality, and she's literally just fucking a lamp. It's... Again, it's just so ridiculous.
Jada Pinkett Smith sees her dream guy projected up against a wall and then gives him a blowjob.
Well, she sees her children first. That's what's even weirder and funnier. She sees her children, her little kids, and she's like, they're like, "You're having fun, mommy? I'm having fun, but you need to go to bed."
Yeah.
And then immediately they turn into this big black guy with a giant dick.
Yeah.
And she just starts sucking him off.
Yeah.
And she's actually just like licking this giant LED screen. It's
And what's Tiffany Haddish doing at this?
She just goes to the sunken place.
Okay.
From Get Out. Remember, she kind of like rises up and there's like stars and shit. And she's
yes.
She's like, whoa.
Yeah, so there's all that. And then they kind of get back together, just kind of talk about it, and they turn around and have a little bit of a huddle, and they're like, well, we need to go and rescue her. And then I hear a man's voice. It's like, rescue who? And they turn around and it's the husband. And then the camera zooms out and they're already at the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And then, of course, at the table, everybody's doing their own thing when Regina Hall tries to drink a candle.
No, she doesn't. It's the agent.
No, Regina Hall tries to.
Oh, yes.
Then, I'm just going to call him Luke Cage, stops her.
Yeah.
And then the agent's like, yeah, cheers! And then she actually drinks it and just like full on takes a swig of hot wax.
Yeah, she must be so horribly burnt. Her entire throat would just be like scarred. Like she'd sound like Bonnie Tyler the next morning. Like,
yeah.
But I liked that. So Regina Hall's like also tripping, like trying to hold it together a little bit, and she's fantasizing. Some poor waitress comes up to take their order, but she in Regina Hall's head, it's Simone with a big ass.
Oh, yeah.
And so she starts abusing this poor random woman who obviously doesn't deserve it. And then the agent, the white woman, is just like sat there, also hammered, but like seems quite calm about it.
Yeah.
But she's also completely away with it. So she downs an entire candle and like she's got like hot wax just like drying on her face. And she's like, oh, that drink tasted awful. It's so hot. Then she's like, put on my card and just hands over a stiletto. Like, I enjoyed her a lot. I thought she was great fun.
I liked Queen Latifah finishing this bit by saying, I'll leave my husband to get the bill.
Yeah.
And just plonks a lamp down.
It's just so absurd. I just couldn't stop laughing. But.
So then they all go out, and from there, Jada Pinkett Smith conveniently finds herself at a costume shop.
She's entranced by some wigs, which I could very much relate to.
Yeah.
Just like, pretty hair. Hair.
And so then they all decide to go out to this local club just to hide from something.
From the paparazzi, I guess. Because Regina Hall's a celebrity, so in the world of this film.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm this wasted, and people have already seen me. Let's go to like a really dark club, put on some wigs, where no one will recognise us.
So yeah, they all put on sunglasses and different multicoloured wigs, which, by the way, all looked flawless and seemed to be put on in zero time.
Oh yeah,
it's great. Being a wig connoisseur myself, I know it takes time to put on a wig properly.
Indeed, yeah. They're professionals. It's not the only wig any of these characters wear.
It's not the first wig of the film, is it?
No, it's really not.
So they go into this club, have an amazing dance-off, which I really, really thought they were going to do in This Is Always Sunny reveal of, like, that's just in their heads. It really,
They're just
awful.
rolling around on the floor.
Yeah, but like no, it was genuinely a really good dance off.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that happens, and then they finish. They want to dance off. They all go back to the bar. Then the girls who they had a dance off against,
which includes Simone with the big ass.
Oh, did it? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come up and confront them at the bar, which breaks out into a fight.
A very, very violent... This was like a scene from The Punisher.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it?
Like, Queen Latifah is literally, like, slamming some woman's head against a bar multiple times. Like, some of these women are going to wake up with either dead or with severe injuries.
Yep.
But, I mean, it's so... Again, it's so fantastically ridiculous. Like, broken bottles and people jumping on each other. Yeah.
Yeah, so then the police show up. Our main characters leaving their wigs behind.
Yeah.
Speak to the police outside. Just like, there's 4 crazy women with multicolored wigs in there. Get them.
The post-fight hair that they have as well. Again, this is more wigs, but not like Jada Pinkett Smith in particular. Her post-fight hair is
big, isn't it?
It's insane. I loved it. And Regina Hall, just the way she kind of walks, like trying to look very like everything's fine. So the physical comedy in this is second to nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, and so then they conveniently get picked up by Regina Hall's love interest.
Yes, who's not particularly interesting in this film.
No,
not really.
No, not.
I mean, we've skipped way over. I don't know if we're doing these chronologically, but we've definitely skipped over one of the ultimate comic set pieces in this film, which happens a lot earlier on.
Is that the zip wire?
The zip wire, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where that came in.
Came a lot.
I already jumped ahead for this one.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, the middle hour of this movie is just various drunken madness. So
absolutely, yeah.
It doesn't necessarily need to all, be chronological. But at a certain point, I think... Yeah, because it's when they're at the festival. Tiffany Haddish gets up on stage with P. Diddy. She flashes her breasts at him, and he pulls her up on stage, and they're all having a great time. And then Tiffany Haddish is like, "Oh, let's go to the club, let's go party." And then Regina Hall's like, "Oh no, I'm getting up in the morning. I've got work. I should go to bed, because I've already seen you get on stage with Diddy. What could possibly top that?" And just hard cuts to her screaming drunken mess, like an entirely different person on a zip line, just like, "Yeah, fuck yeah,
yeah."
And then we get this hysterical ziplining sequence, which just keeps getting funnier.
Yes, it really does. It's odd because, like, you see 3 of them go across this zip line, which is, by the way, very short.
Yeah.
It's like, 4 meters? It's the width of a normal street.
Yeah. Well, I like that there's a little callback because very early in the film when they first get to New Orleans, they see some like white kids doing it, and Queen Latifah just goes, "Ugh, that is such white boy nonsense."
Yeah.
And then it cuts to like, "I'm white boy drunk. Who cares?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and so the first one, I forget who.
Regina Hall goes first, and she kind of does it, and it's just her screams, like just there's the screaming that she does, but she actually succeeds perfectly well. And then it's Queen Latifah who just does amazing physical comedy, like because she's obviously a bit bigger, like it's just her legs in the air and just like this giant red tracksuit being like dragged back up. And it's like, and you think this can't possibly get any funnier.
Yeah. I think she lands on the person who's supposed to catch her at the end, like with her legs wrapped around his waist, and she's loving it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, and so the next is Jada Pinkett Smith, who goes, and because she's such a slight woman, she just stops halfway through.
Yeah.
Like. And then she has a bit of an emergency where she really, really needs to go to the toilet and tries to hold it in, and there is essentially an explosion.
I genuinely cried laughing because I mean I could see it coming. I was like, okay, so she's going to piss herself because she's had 2 kids. Women can't really hold it in very well after kids. That's a thing. Pelvic floor muscles, all that kind of stuff. But I thought it was going to be like
at which point, by the way, it has already been not shown, said that she's not wearing any underpants.
Oh yeah.
So like she's there in a short skirt, many people below her who can just see everything.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of people below her who are there with their phones out, taking pictures and videos and stuff, which is like, come on, guys.
Yeah, sure.
Then she has her accident in which she just sprays is the best word, really.
Not even sprays. I thought there was going to be like a trickle. I thought that'd be the joke. Like Jada Pinkett Smith would just urinate like a human being. And she'd be like, "Oh God, this is so embarrassing." Get trickle on the head.
It's too humiliating.
It is, but instead, she just explodes with urine. She just, and it's like
when you put your hose on the spray setting. That's like a mist comes out.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
it is it's decidedly not a mist, Harry.
No, it's not a mist, but it's like a shower.
Yeah, it's like the build.
It's not a single stream. If you were standing below, it would be like it was raining heavily.
It's a medical problem. Yeah. Like, she has exploded. She just explodes with urine, and it's like a horse.
It's like her vagina was a water balloon.
Yes. Yeah, and all the other characters are like, damn, how much did she drink? Like,
Yeah, because also, like, it's a lot as well.
It is, and it keeps going, and it keeps going.
Yeah.
And then Tiffany Haddish obviously jumps in. She's like, your BFF says to the rescue, and she kind of
Pushes her to the other side.
uses herself to push the other side. And then she just pisses at everyone for fun.
Yeah.
But also with this explosion of liquid. Like,
Yeah, it was quite mad.
it was quite bad and it was disgusting, but I was doubled over laughing. When Tiffany Haddish is like gleefully leaning backwards and it's still dripping out of her, and it's just like, it is so absurd and so gross, but this film got its tone so right.
Yeah, 'cause it could have so easily been wrong.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, all those people down below, the ones who were filming Jada Pinkett Smith, yeah, they got what they deserved.
Yeah.
The people who...
We're in a 3-mile radius.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I was going to say the people who got by Tiffany Haddish, like, they could sue.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
But,
many people could sue these women over the course of this film.
yes.
What happened? Why did I stop? Wait, what's going on? Why did I stop?
Don't worry about it. Fix it. Just hold tight. Hold on, Lisa.
This is not the time! I'm telling you! Oh, where is it? Please, oh, God. Baby Jesus, oh, Jesus, please don't make me pee on anybody. Stop taking that picture of her fucking vagina! Please don't do Damn, how much did she drink?
Why have you mistaken me, baby Jesus?
Oh, well, that was crazy. What's next?
I think they're all the crazy party scenes. I think most of them. There's also a plot line with Jada Pinkett Smith, though. The other characters are really pressuring her to get laid on this holiday because she hasn't had sex in a while, and she's quite uptight. So I think this will help her out. And so eventually she does manage to pull this guy, who apparently has a giant penis.
Yes.
Well, there's no apparently about it. We later see it. So yeah, it is a giant penis. And so she gets nervous and she can't do it because she's afraid it's too big and she won't be able to take it. And then we have the grapefruit discussion.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was a fun time.
Mm-hmm. Well, go on.
am I to explain it?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so Tiffany Haddish explains to everybody that to make a blowjob even better, you can grapefruit a guy, which is where you cut the top and bottom of a grapefruit, cut a little hole in the middle of it, and just put that on the penis like a ring, and the grapefruit does the bottom of the penis, you do the top. That's pretty much it, and it's supposed to be a really good blowjob.
Yeah,
that is.
She demonstrates it.
She does demonstrate it with a grapefruit and a banana. I like how she doesn't hold back.
No, she goes right in. Oh, it's so funny.
It's hideous.
This film succeeds on laughs per minute.
Yeah,
like the amount of big belly laughs this gave me, more than any film I've watched in a long time.
Oh, great! Well, I'm glad I could entertain you.
What you want to do is you get a grapefruit, right? Okay. And you cut both ends off, as so. Then you cut a hole in the middle, like this, like a nice little tunnel. And then you place that on his penis, like this.
Oh.
Okay? Like that.
Oh.
Right? Now you want to squeeze and twist and suck, so then it feels like he's getting fucked and sucked all at the same time. It's like this. What? Choke just a little bit, because that make him feel like a man, like he killing your shit. Dude, this is a tickle in my throat. Now, you never ever want to do this with a pineapple. I almost died.
So, yeah, that is Girls Trip.
I had a good time with this film. Don't know if that's obvious.
Oh, I know you did, John. I know you did.
Thank you very much for bringing this... Well, not bringing it into my life. I knew it existed, but thank you for forcing me to actually watch this film.
This one's been on my list for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I knew it would be a good time.
Yeah, you were not wrong. I'll definitely watch this one again.
All right, so before we start pitching sequels, we need to do some drinking games.
We do. This is a very fruitful film in that respect, because they are all hammered from start to like from the about 15 minutes in to the pretty much the end of the film. I would say all of the main characters are completely smashed.
So are you saying drink what they drink?
I mean, you would die. That would kill you.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
No. Okay, this could be a dangerous one that may kill you. Drink every time someone refers to the Flossy Posse.
Great. Yeah, very good.
That's at least 15 shots. So
drink whenever anybody talks about a penis.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. A lot of that. What do you drink if you see a penis? Double
drink, or down your drink. Maybe?
Down your drink when you see a penis. That's good. Yeah, like that.
I mean, there's only 2, I believe.
Yeah, I think there's only 2. There's only 2 full frontals, and the rest is there's some implied moments as well.
Yeah.
Like obviously when Jada Pinkett Smith is hallucinating and stuff. So sure. Okay, drink every time Tiffany Haddish's character causes a scene.
Yes. Yes, totally.
Double drink if it involves physical violence.
I was going to say drink anytime Tiffany Haddish talks about bumholes.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. Like, I love that time when she starts just threatening Luke Cage and it's all about his bumhole.
It is a long monologue about all the different things she's going to do to his bumhole.
Yeah.
And
everybody else's reaction towards her, they're just like, what are you talking about? Like, we get it, but like...
You've gone too far, girl. Yeah. I like it. I don't know why, but just her line reading early on when she's kind of just like messing with Jada Pinkett Smith at the airport. She's like, I got drugs in my booty.
Yeah. Which, by the way, the drugs never come up again.
No. Well, I hope they do at some point. Or fall down.
Yeah.
True. I think it's probably to be implied that she's, partaken.
Yeah. Okay.
What was it me? Oh, drink for concert scenes.
Sure.
Because I do think at least a third of this movie is just footage of various R&B stars singing the hits. Like, that's how you could trim half an hour off this movie.
Totally, yeah.
I mean, it's fun, but...
Yeah. Drink whenever Jada Pinkett Smith mentions her children. Double drink if she uses them or being a mother as an excuse.
Very good, yeah.
And then triple drink if she inevitably does the thing.
Yeah. That's a lot in this film.
Yeah.
Drink every time a character changes their hair. Or their hairstyle.
I've got a drink for a wig.
Flips a wig, yeah. Like, in-film wigs or just wigs? Because they're always wearing some kind of wig.
I'd say in-film wigs, but Queen Latifah,
Queen Latifah's hair in this film went on such a journey, and I loved every second of it. Like, she had the crazy 90s braids at the start, then she had like this weird updo, and it was... She had fabulous hair. Sometimes it was like so long it was like down to her back.
She had a perm at one point as well.
She did, yeah. She really had everything.
Yeah. Drink for any photos or videos.
Okay, yeah. There's a lot of hashtags, lots of Instagram. Yeah. Very good. I drink for threats of serious violence.
Sure, yes, definitely.
Or drink for broken bottles, which come up a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of like, not even just Tiffany Haddish. It seems like the default for anyone who's in a pissed off mood in this film is to just smash a beer bottle and just wield it in front of someone. Like, it was intimidating.
Yeah. Okay. So, any more?
I think they're all of mine, actually. Have you got any more?
No, I'm all done. Okay. So, listeners, just want to let you know, if you've enjoyed this episode or any other episodes, or if you're one of those people who just listens to a lot of episodes quite silently without doing anything, the least you can do is give us a little review on iTunes or something. But, but the most you can do, which is even better, of course, is to go to patreon.com/beyondtheboxset, where you can subscribe to us for as much or as little as you like and get a few bonus features. The money... I was going to say goes directly into our pockets. I mean, it does. It indirectly does.
It goes directly into your PayPal, which at some point we'll figure out something to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, it buys us new microphones every now and then. I mean, it pays for our cinema, which is great, which then leads into the main feature that you get as a Patreon. You get to hear our bonus show, Beyond the Box Set, where we review a lot of cinema releases. I think we're about to do Rocket Man after this, maybe.
Possibly.
That one's very late, but there's reasons behind that.
Yeah. And then we're going to the cinema tonight to see Midsommar.
Oh, that's going to be a right good time.
Which is my end game for the year. Like,
sure it is.
Now that Mar's been and gone, it's like
Yeah.
From the guy who made Hereditary, which was a great time for me. And for you. I think we both appreciate it.
Oh, yeah,
so
definitely, yeah.
I have high hopes for Midsommar.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so there's that. Also, every Patreon once a month gets to have a 30-second ad slot on the main show. You can advertise anything you want. It could be your own podcast, your own business, somebody else's podcast or business, whatever you want to talk about, really.
Yeah.
And then also once a month we have a Patreon episode on the show. I think that was last week.
Yes, so we had a lovely man named Lee Agney come on from the Connected Hearts podcast. And he brought us a great film that I'd never seen before called Chronicle.
Yeah,
which I very much enjoyed. So that was a fun episode, so stay tuned for that.
Definitely a good time. So you can pick a film, any film you want, as long as it doesn't have sequels or we haven't done it already.
Yeah.
And then you are invited to come on the show if you want. You don't have to. We can do the film without you if you like. But you can come on in person or over Skype, whatever works for you. So all that is available at patreon.com/beyondtheboxset.
Indeed.
I love to listen to podcasts on my journeys to and from work. Are there any you can recommend?
Well, actually, Chris, funny you should ask. There's one I'd love to listen to that's called Ask Karen.
Turned left and went in the shop next door. Honestly did. And I was going to Specsavers. Literally should have gone to Specsavers. I'm guessing I can find it just by searching Ask Karen on any good podcast app.
Yes, that's right, Chris.
So join me and Karen on our potentially award-winning podcast, Ask Karen.
Now, to get to the sequels, I believe it's your turn to go first.
I do go first. Okay. So I've gone for a pretty straightforward sequel idea this week. Nothing too conceptual because I just think... I'm sure
I hope you've not done what I've done.
Well, let's find out. I feel like there will inevitably at some point be a sequel to this film because they made a lot of money. Apparently they all want to do it, but they've not managed to agree on a script yet.
Okay.
So I'm going to suggest one. I did find this...
You're going to tweet them when this episode comes out?
Sure, yeah. We can make some money here. Yeah, it's a fairly straightforward sequel idea because really, what do you want from this? More of these characters. One problem I had, I don't know if you've had the same problem or maybe you've just decided to just go with it. It's very hard to write, as a 33-year-old white English guy, it's kind of hard to write a sequel to this without feeling like you are the Kate Walsh character. The agent who So I'm not doing any dialogue here. I'm not going to do any impersonations of any races that are not my own. I'm just going to give you an outline of what I think the plot is going to be.
Cool.
What decision you've made, I'll leave up to your
Cool. Well, you've not done the same thing as me then.
Oh, great. Okay, good times. So yeah, Girls Trip 2 is set a couple of years after the first one. Not a huge amount of time.
Yeah.
So Ryan, the Regina Hall character, has now divorced Stuart, Mike Coulter, and she now hosts a successful talk show with Sasha, the Queen Latifah character, working behind the scenes as her head writer.
Great.
So, they've got a healthy collaboration going and their friendship is rebuilt.
Yeah.
The film opens with her coming off set and going for a romantic meal with Julian, who was her not very interesting love interest in the first film.
Yeah.
The musician. Anyway, they've been dating probably since she split up from her husband. So probably about a year or so, maybe more. And he surprises her at this romantic date with a proposal, which she instantly accepts, very happily. And obviously the first thing she has to do is call up the rest of the girls and tell them the good news. So cue lots of screaming and jokes about nailing down that dick and all that kind of stuff, Classic girls. So then she has to start planning her wedding. And of course, the girls, they have to start planning the hen party.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do Americans call it a hen party?
No, they call it a bachelorette party.
A bachelorette. So the bachelorette party, basically, yes. In other words, it's time for a Flossie Posse reunion in Girls Trip 2, Viva Las Vegas.
Great.
Have you done a Vegas thing? Maybe? Okay. We'll see. So the girls reunite and they fly out to Vegas, where, of course, they get tremendously drunk straight away. It's a longer flight to Vegas than it was to New Orleans, and they experience some fairly extreme turbulence on the way, which causes Lisa, the Jada Pinkett Smith character, to start to have a bit of a panic attack. So the other girls all kind of gather around and try and calm her down, and they all have their own individual ideas for how she should handle this stress. So Ryan gives her a couple of Xanax pills. Sasha tells her to drink a shot of whiskey. And Dina gives her some spiked cookies that she smuggled on board.
Great.
Lisa, in her panic, takes all of these things at the same time. And then we cut to them in the Vegas airport, just physically carrying her off the plane. She's just fully unconscious.
Yeah.
So just a bit of physical comedy there, I think will be good.
Sure.
They check into their hotel in Vegas and they hit the town. And obviously one of the first things they do is they hit the casino, where Sasha, Queen Latifah, surprises everyone by placing some very high stakes bets and winning over $50,000. So the girls are kind of surprised, but excited about this. So then they have to suspend their winnings, and it turns out that Dina, the Tiffany Haddish character, she's the one who suggested that they go to Vegas, and it turns out this is because she wants to live her dream, her lifelong dream, of seeing Celine Dion live in concert. And the other
is
woman,
this her lifelong dream?
Well, that's the thing. No, that's the thing. I thought it'd be really funny if she had really square white music taste,
right?
Because obviously she's not that character.
Yeah.
So that's the joke basically. All the other girls are going to be kind of a little bit surprised. They'll be like, wouldn't you rather see Tony Braxton or Boys to Men? I think they've got concerts here too. And she's like, no man, Celine's the shit. You know, she just loves Celine. So she drags them all along to the Celine Dion show. And I fell in love with the idea of like this shot of like Celine Dion singing My Heart Will Go On, and like Tiffany Haddish just fully sobbing, but also sobbing and flashing her breast. Just doing both at the same time. Like.
Yeah, sure.
So they go to the Celine Dion concert. The other girls are obviously bored as shit. They're not big Celine fans. So they decide that once they get out of the concert, they need to celebrate Sasha's casino victory by getting thoroughly white girl wasted, which they proceed to do.
Great.
While they're partying, Ryan catches the eye of a cute younger guy who's going to be played by Donald Glover, standard go-to.
Sure.
They flirt a little bit, and he reveals that he's also out on his bachelor party because he's due to get married in a week's time. So the other girls put a lot of pressure on Ryan to have one last fling because he's getting married as well. There's no strings. You know, what could go wrong? You know, she's about to get married. It's, you know, might as well just, you know, have one last wild fling.
Yeah, what could go wrong?
Yeah. So cue big heavy drinking and partying montage. You know, maybe there's some spiking going on from Tiffany Haddish. You know, standard practice. And of course, she wakes up the next morning in bed next to him. And then she looks up a video on her iPhone of the two of them being married by an Elvis impersonator in a chapel.
Great.
So obviously they're both going to freak out because they both got other, you know, fiancés. They freak out and agree that they need to get this annulled ASAP. And this is also why I cast Donald Glover, not only because he's like, you know, a bit younger than Regina Hall is and, you know, would be good for this role. He does very good freakouts.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining the scene of those two both like when
I've seen him do a good freak out for a long time.
Not since Community, really, no. But yeah, I'd like to see a classic Donald Glover freak out and Regina Hall also freaking out when they both hungoverly realise that they've got married on a whim. So they both obviously need to get this annulled straight away so they can have their actual weddings.
Yeah.
So they're trying to sort that out. Meanwhile, the other girls wake up, Jada Pinkett Smith and Tiffany Haddish, Dina and Lisa, and they realise that Sasha has actually gone missing. They don't remember what happened to her at the end of the night. So they go looking for her all over Vegas, and they eventually find her. They find out that she's been up all night playing a high-stakes illegal poker game with some very dodgy characters. And they arrive just in time to watch her lose everything, more than double what she originally won.
Great.
So she's lost a huge amount of money. Because she can't pay up what she owes to the table, she finds herself under threat from these, you know, shady gangsters. Obviously, Dina isn't remotely intimidated, and she immediately starts picking a fight. Probably breaks a bottle.
Yeah, of course.
Come at me,
yeah.
And that's just going to hard cut to all three of them tied up in a basement.
Brilliant.
Being held captive by these gangsters who are like wielding knives at them and like threatening them, demanding their money, demanding the money that Sasha now owes them from this game that she's lost horribly. So eventually they're forced to call Ryan, who wasn't with them at the time, who's just finished speaking to her lawyers and has been told that it'll take at least 3 months to process an annulment. So she's fucked, which is going to put her marriage to Julian in serious jeopardy. So she's very highly stressed already, but then she gets this call and she reluctantly goes down to the girls and bails them out. Because, you know, she's a TV star, she's super rich.
Yeah, she's got the money.
So she bails them out, but obviously she's very angry about this and she's already in a stressful situation. So that leads to her and Sasha getting into a huge fight about how Sasha could possibly be so irresponsible and why would she do this. And then they end up having much like the first film, they have a huge falling out and they kind of storm off in opposite directions. So that leaves Lisa and Dina needing to figure out a way to kind of bring them all back together and kind of salvage this disastrous bachelorette weekend. So what they do is they go separately and, you know, drag the other two together for what was supposed to be the final surprise of the weekend, which is a ride on the High Roller, which is, I don't know if you've heard of this, the High Roller is the world's largest Ferris wheel, the world's tallest Ferris wheel.
Sure.
It's over 550 feet tall,
Sure.
and it takes a full half hour to do a full circle.
Okay.
It's much bigger than even the London Eye, and it is in Las Vegas. So I looked this up, so I thought that'd be a fun thing for them to do.
Sure.
So they get into this giant Ferris wheel, the High Roller.
Yeah.
And they're riding the wheel, which, as I mentioned, is like 550 feet in the air. And they're all getting very, very drunk. But Sasha and Ryan just won't talk to each other. They're just giving each other the absolute silent treatment. And so by the time they've got to the top of the Ferris wheel, there's been no breakthrough. They're still just refusing to speak to each other. So Dina gets very frustrated and impulsively pulls an emergency switch to stop the Ferris wheel, to force them to kind of talk to each other. Unfortunately, she accidentally creates a short circuit that breaks the ride entirely.
Great.
Leaving them stranded up there for several hours while rescue crews try to figure out how they can get them out.
Brilliant.
So finally, after many, many hours and lots of drinking, Sasha finally has a bit of a breakdown. And she admits to Ryan that she's been struggling for years with a major gambling addiction. And that's actually what caused her to go bankrupt in the first place in the original film.
Makes sense.
Yeah. This has been her secret shame. And Ryan asks her why she didn't say anything. And she admits that she was too scared of letting her down again after the argument they had in the first film about the whole paparazzi situation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big breakthrough. They both kind of, apologise to each other. They hug it out. They cry. They're best friends again. It's all great.
Yeah.
And Ryan promises to help Sasha to get the support that she needs. Some kind of 12-step program or something when they get back to LA after this whole bachelorette party.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all happy endings for them all. And then so they've all resolved their issues just in time for some very attractive firefighters to kind of knock on their booth with, of course, zip wires to kind of to bring them back down to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're going to have a very funny scene of them all being carried by these hot firemen down a huge zip wire to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, obviously there's going to be lots of screaming. And yeah, it gets them back down to the ground. So we're going to cut to a few days later back in LA, where Ryan's going to be forced to confess her accidental marriage to Julian, who forgives her. And they decide, rather than to cancel the wedding, which they've already planned, they decide to change it into a non-legally binding commitment ceremony while they wait for their annulment to come through. And then they'll have a proper ceremony, whenever they've got time. But this is going to be their big wedding day. They're not going to change it. So it's a happy ending. So they do that. They have this lovely big celebrity service. The officiating minister is Oprah Winfrey. Because you need a big celebrity cameo, I think.
Yeah.
And all three of the remaining women are bridesmaids. And the film ends with Ryan throwing her bouquet over her shoulder and the other three getting into a massive punch-up over who gets to catch it. And that's the end of Girls Trip 2, Viva Las Vegas.
Oh, very good.
I quite like that one.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good, yeah. Right, well, that's kind of where my idea started.
Okay, but we diverged, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've only written like maybe the first half of mine, and I was hoping that we could kind of riff on the end of it.
Sure, yeah.
I was planning on that riffing kind of being to go to Vegas, but it doesn't need to. So, it's a few years later, Regina and Latifah, their talk show's really kicked off, working out very well. Two of them living in Beverly Hills.
Okay, nice, yeah.
Regina's living with her boyfriend Justin, and Latifah lives alone.
So that's the same guy I hooked up with, the musician from the first film. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew he was a musician.
Yeah.
I was going to put that, but I wasn't sure. Okay, so then back on the on the East Coast, Jada Pinkett Smith is at home mothering her kids, while Tiffany Haddish is lodging with her while she looks for a job.
Okay.
Tiffany and Jada have been really struggling. Tiffany's been struggling to hold a job for longer than a few weeks.
Shocking.
Shocking that she would get a job at all.
Well, sure, yeah.
Maybe the first thing we see of her is her in an interview. Just like trying her best to get the job and then really insulting everybody.
I'd really like it because you never actually see her doing her job. You see her obviously freak out at that guy. I'd like it if it turned out she's actually like very professional, but just she has a short fuse. I'd like it if she was actually very good at something. I don't know what the job would be, but I'd like it if she was like she's an excellent coder or something, like a programmer.
Sure, yeah.
I'd like to see that, but then obviously she always keeps getting into fights and stuff, and that's causing her problems.
Jada, on the other hand, she's suffering from stress-induced depression.
Oh no.
She's having a pretty tough time. And so the two of them decide they need a holiday.
Yeah.
They call up their best friends, Regina and Latifah, and ask if they will come on holiday with them and take a break. Those two actually decline because they have a show which they need to do every single week.
Sure.
They can't just get up and leave their lives like that, they have responsibilities. So they hang up. Jada says to Tiffany, fuck it. If they won't come and see us, we'll go and see them.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So, cut to 2 days later, or a few days later, Regina and Latifah, they're just finishing their show. The crowd applause, the lights go down, the director from somewhere shouts that they're off the air. They both start getting ready to leave and exit out stage door. The moment they step outside, they get bags put over their heads and they get sprayed with gas to knock them out. Cut to black.
So, Tiffany Haddish and Jada Pinkett Smith have gassed and kidnapped the other two.
The next morning, they wake up in the back of an RV, or large camper van. The bags are removed from their head, and Tiffany Haddish shouts, "Road trip, bitches!"
Classic Haddish.
Yeah. The title is Girls' Road Trip.
Nice.
So, then I have a long bit here of conversation. Would you like to take a couple of characters?
Well, I dread this, but sure.
Okay, you be Regina and Jada.
Okay, sure. Tiff, what the fuck is going... I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not going to attempt to impersonate a black woman.
That's
just not going to happen.
Yeah, me neither.
Good. Tiff, what the fuck is going on?
We've got the Flossy Posse back together for a road trip. And then Jada says,
sorry, Regina and Latifah. I was against all of this.
Bitch, please. You bought the plane tickets and rented the RV.
Yes, but I was strongly against the kidnapping. Who even brings chloroform with them on holiday anyway?
Girl, you were the getaway driver. And then Latifah says,
am I Latifah?
Okay. And then Latifah, I don't know. And then Latifah says, Jada, I thought you were above this sort of thing. You've got kids. Tiffany, I can't say I'm surprised with this behaviour. I know this isn't your first kidnapping, so good job.
Latifah, they kidnapped us.
Yes, and Tiff did a really good job. She wasn't always this good, you know.
Guys, me and Latifah have a show to do. We can't go on a road trip.
And then Tiffany Haddish says, your show is weekly. You've got a week.
We have other commitments, you know. I have Julian at home wondering where I am.
And then Jada says, well, it's a bit late for that, ladies. Look. And so then we see out the front window as they drive over the Golden Gate Bridge into San Francisco.
Okay.
So they're already well on their road trip.
Sure. Yeah.
Message there. Regina says, fine, we'll have a quick road trip, but just so long as we're able to get back in time for the next show next Wednesday. So Tiffany says, hell yeah, I'll make sure we get back in time for your show. You can count on me.
I like how you took most of the characters by the end of that.
Yeah, well, you put your phone down. I thought you gave up.
No.
Also, I forgot who was who.
Yeah, it was. So long and short of it is they've been kidnapped and they're on a road trip and they've just gone to San Francisco. Yeah,
pretty much, yes.
Okay.
So what sort of things would you like to see these four getting up to on road trips?
Okay, I think this.
So it was going to end up in Vegas where they'll get really hungover and then have to do the show hungover.
Sure, yeah.
But what happens first? What happens on the way?
Well, okay, I'm thinking this.
I feel like you're a road trip expert.
I've not been on many, but I do like it.
You've dreamt a lot.
I've dreamt of a lot of road trips. Yeah. Well, I think there should definitely be some like Thelma and Louise shenanigans happening. So. Or Priscilla Queen of the Desert shenanigans. So I think there should definitely be the car should break down in the middle of the desert somewhere.
Definitely, yeah.
And they'll need to be rescued by, I guess, some hot men.
It's got to be a lot of hot men.
Yeah. Which Tiffany Haddish is going to take full advantage of.
I would say it's a stag do.
Mm-hmm.
They get rescued by a stag bus.
By a bachelor party, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so then they probably take them along on their stag do to like some city somewhere where they all get completely drunk out. Tiffany Haddish spikes their drinks again.
Yes.
Maybe then they all wake up the next day having no memory of that night. Maybe this could be the bit in Vegas.
Yeah.
And they kind of do the hangover.
Okay, sure, yeah, where they need to figure out.
Yeah, but that's just a part of the movie. That's not the movie, it's just a bit. So then they find, there's, gambling debts and maybe there's a loose tiger somewhere or something like that.
A loose tiger?
Have you not seen Hangover?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Yeah.
It'd be a bit random thing for me to say otherwise.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I'd say that then they move on to somewhere else. Don't know if it's to another city or maybe it's a small town where they stop for gas. There needs to be a dance-off.
Yeah, I think they should at some point be on the run from the law.
Oh, good shout, yeah.
Maybe they get caught up in a bank, they stop for gas somewhere, like in some convenience store or some classic American, and then they get caught up in a stick-up, which isn't their fault. They're not the criminals.
Maybe it is Tiffany Haddish's fault. Maybe she caused it. She wasn't like the criminal in the bit, but she was the provoker.
Yes, that's a good one. Yeah, maybe she accidentally causes a standoff situation, and they all end up on the run from the law, and then they have to do a full-on police chase, and they drive away, and I think that'll be fun. I'm not sure how they get out of that.
I would also like somebody to say are we Thelma and Louise in this? And then somebody else is like, no.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good idea. Yeah,
I've got kids.
Yeah, exactly. They momentarily consider doing the whole Thelma and Louise and driving off a cliff, and they're like, hell no, it's a terrible idea. And they take another route and they're fine.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, what else is good on road trips?
So here's a thing that I was going to tie into mine, but then ended up dropping because it was too convoluted, but maybe we can drop it into yours somewhere. I was initially planning to write a bit where they, in Vegas, well, it could be anywhere, they run into the cast of Bridesmaids.
Okay, yeah.
Even if it's just like a moment, it's not like a full crossover, it's like a moment when they run into another group of ladies who are also on a madcap adventure, and they just cross paths somewhere. Because you've got
Yeah, I like that.
We'll have to do Bridesmaids at some point. But I would say in Bridesmaids, Kristen Wiig plays the Regina Hall character, and Melissa McCarthy is definitely the Tiffany Haddish character, like the wild card. So
yeah.
So I think there could be something there.
Sure. Yeah,
maybe they go to a bar, and maybe they have a dance off with the cast of Bridesmaids. So they go to this bar and they're drinking. They decide, okay, we need to get some D. We need to get some dick. This is Tiffany Haddish, speaking. Let's pull up at a random bar where there's loads of just drunk, horny guys. And we'll just all take our pick. But when they get there, the cast of Bridesmaids are doing the exact same thing. And so it's like, hey, there's only room for one female comedy grouping in this movie. So then they have a whole dance-off. Because I think the cast of Bridesmaids, again, Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Maya Rudolph, could do a very good dance-off.
Yes.
Versus the cast of Bridesmaids. Versus the cast of Girls Trip.
Yeah.
And then, so they have a whole dance-off, and then it devolves into a massive bar fight.
Yeah.
Because wouldn't you love to see Tiffany Haddish and Melissa McCarthy, broken bottles, going at it? Yeah, I can see that being very fun.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. 100% see that. So, crossover event.
But I think that should just be like a scene, not the whole movie, just like a little bonus.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, essentially we're just stealing a couple ideas from different things. We got Hangover, we got Bridesmaids.
Yeah, I feel like a road trip racist tits.
That would totally work.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. I just like to see these characters in classic movie situations, and the road trip is a classic genre. So,
And like you could definitely throw in at Easter eggs to other road trip movies. Like maybe they drive past Priscilla, Queen of the Desert or something.
Yes,
and that's it. That's all.
Well, they have to end up at a gay bar at some point.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, for reasons. I know. Okay,
but Jada Pinkett Smith doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, she's very straight laced.
Yeah.
So we mentioned earlier there's going to be a mistaken identity situation where they're on the run from the law for like a stick up or something. So they're doing that and they're on the run from the law, and maybe they desperately need somewhere to hide out, and maybe they go and hide in a. They don't realise until they pull in, but they pull in to go run into a club to kind of hide, like they do in the first film. But instead of it being like an R&B club, like where they can just have a dance off and wear wigs, it's a full blown like gay bar / drag club, like big old nightclub. So they're like, and they befriend some local drag queens. Maybe the cast of Priscilla, maybe some RuPaul's Drag Race girls. Who knows? Just some cameos.
Sure. I mean, it's just the two things that drag queens go in, isn't it?
That's all there is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking fun cameos. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe the drag queens offer to help them out by putting them up in drags and making them dress as drag queens.
Yeah.
I think that would be very funny. And then they can do a routine, cue another dance off. I think that'd be really funny. Tiffany Haddish and the whole gang dressed as drag queens. Would be very
who'd be the best?
I think Tiffany Haddish is so over the top already. She'd be a good drag queen. Queen Latifah's quite physically, she's a large lady, so she would definitely have like that drag queen presence. Yeah, I think she'd be good. She would take no shit. Like they'd all be good. I think it'd be really fun to give them all drag queen makeovers. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and Jada Pinkett Smith's like very much not into it at all, but then she like found out she loves it. She has a bit of an arc with it. So,
Yeah, that would work really well.
Yeah.
Maybe
one of them does the ping. Well, it's got to be Tiffany Haddish. Surely it does the ping pong routine from Priscilla.
Oh god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be Jada, is it?
No. Not after 2 kids. No. Those days are gone.
Yeah, and so then from there, I was going to say that they do then go to Vegas. They have their wild night out, and well, actually, no, maybe that'd be a good bit to sort of throw in the Hangover plot.
Sure, yeah.
And then have the Hangover plot crossing over with, shit, it's Wednesday already. We lost track of time. We need to get back for the show. And it's a race back. Like somebody's drunk and speeding at the wheel. Like it's a bad message, and they've got to get back to LA to film this show. And they get back, and maybe Queen Latifah is the writer as opposed to Ida as the co-host.
However it works, yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got Regina Hall as the actual host, and they are really they're absolutely winging it.
They're hungover. They've got sunglasses on. Yeah,
yeah, definitely like large sunglasses.
Yeah.
Her wig isn't on straight anymore. Like,
and can they be interviewing someone really important like Michelle Obama or something?
Yes, definitely. It's a big show.
Yeah,
and then maybe that happens, and get to the very end of the show, and then Regina Hall's like, "Phew, finally," and then Michelle Obama leans over and just like, I know what's going on. Like,
I've been there, girl.
Yeah. It was great fun, that party we had last night, wasn't it? Like, as a final twist, like they were out actually partying with Michelle Obama.
Oh, that'd be great. And then we can have like a post-credit of Michelle Obama having a dance off. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure she'd be up for that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
She's not first lady anymore. She can let it all hang out. It's fine.
Yeah. So that's that. That's Girls' Road Trip.
Girls' Road Trip. Like it. Yeah. Really, I'm happy to watch these characters do anything. Like, just put them in any classic film scenario I am watching. So, yeah, definitely put them in a horror movie, put them in a road trip, put them in a thriller, put them on a plane, put them anywhere I'm watching. So, yeah, I think that was very good. I would look forward to watching that.
Great stuff. All right. Okay, so listener submissions. The only one that I've got here is from Austin Cummins, who says, so Captain America Civil War scenario.
God.
No, it's not that. But it's where the Girls Trip ladies and Bad Mums ladies fight in a German airport.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, crossover with Bad Mums. I didn't think of that. That's good, yeah.
Yeah, that works
I can
just
see
as
that.
well.
Cool. Okay, I have a few more, thankfully. So, Brian Vaughn said 2 girls, 2 trips.
Great.
I think he's just doing the classic 2 this, 2 that. But I like the idea of maybe they get split into 2 pairs and go on separate trips.
Yeah, that works, yeah.
Adam Bailey said a bachelorette party, which we both covered.
Great.
Called Girl Strip.
Nice.
So,
yeah, very good.
Yeah. Mike Carey said women's trip. I don't know what that means. I mean, they are all women. They're all middle-aged. But maybe it's their moms. Like, same plot, roughly, but we found out what their moms are like. Angela Bassett could play one of their moms. Cicely Tyson,
Whoopi Goldberg,
Viola Davis. Whoopi Goldberg would be perfect. Yeah, she'd be a great Tiffany Haddish mom. She's Tiffany Haddish's mom. Yeah, Whoopi and
Angela Bassett.
Whoopi and Angela Bassett for sure.
Yeah.
And then there's got to be more. We'll find some more.
Yeah.
Oh, Wanda Sykes. Yes. Wanda Sykes would be amazing as well.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Do that. I like that. Patrick Hamilton said the Groupon Swamp Tour.
Ooh.
Yeah. Story, which is Tiffany Haddish's amazing story that she told about taking Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith on a Groupon tour on some chat show. Patrick Hamilton, I showed you that ages ago. Yeah. Patrick Hamilton says the Groupon Swamp Tour story is pretty much the best Girls Trip sequel we're ever going to get. I agree. I've watched that movie. Scott Hillman says Dana, the Tiffany Haddish character, takes the girls on a trip to Sicily, Italy, where they accidentally get mixed up in some international gangland activities between some African mercenaries and the Italian mob. And so hijinks ensue. So
very good.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I guess that's basically girls' European trip, which could be fun. Stephen Brogy said, basically a remake of the movie Cliffhanger, but when they get to that scene on the poster, one of them pees.
Oh, no.
Sam Reeder said, girls' trip to a field in England. So I guess the girls camping in England could be fun. Yeah. Again.
Yeah. I'm imagining With Neil and I.
Yes, very much so.
Help! We've got on holiday by mistake.
Oh my god, an all-black female version of With Neil and I. I would watch the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Josh Nolette said, 4 girls, a trip and a pizza place.
Great.
Yeah. Josh Kinsella said, I had an idea that they go to the Fire Festival. Do you remember that? It's from the documentary. Over on Twitter, Drinking with Nerds, at nerds_drinking, said, watched this on New Year's... this is more of a review, sorry. Watched this on New Year's Eve a few years ago. It was really funny, but we made a mistake by making it into a drinking game. Welcome to our world, guys. Every time they said Flossy Posse, we had to drink. We were smashed after the first third of the movie.
Oh dear.
We approve. At Killer Rabbit Podcast, at Killer Rabbit Pod, said, I'll need to watch the first one first to get back to you, although I'm not sure I want to. Massive Tiffany Haddish fan, though, of course. Who isn't? I would say if you're a Tiffany Haddish fan, you do want to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the thing that made her famous, so go watch it. At the Cinema Guys said, when Dom and his crew go missing, they need to call the girls' help to find them. Many hijinks ensue in this fuel-powered fun time called Fast and Furious Presents Girls Trip Endgame.
Nice.
There's a lot going on at once there. I like the idea that if the cast from the Fast and Furious, which I guess is Dom and co, Vin Diesel plays Dom apparently. I like the idea that like they get kidnapped or go missing, and the people they call for help is just these random 4 women. I don't know why, but sure.
I've also just thought of 2 franchises, I mean, they're very similar, that would also benefit from having this cast. One is Men in Black.
Yes.
And the other was Ghostbusters.
Both would have worked better than what we actually got, definitely, yeah. Hopefully one day, we'll see. And finally, Movie Geek and Proud at MGNP Podcast said, it's time to do another girls' trip before this time Tiffany Haddish's character is getting married. She's finally settling down, but not before the bachelorette party of this century. That would be quite a bachelorette party.
Yes, it would.
So, yeah, I like that a lot.
I could see that one happening like a few films down the line.
That could definitely be part of this franchise, which will inevitably be a franchise before long. Cool. So those are our listeners' submissions. If you have any sequel ideas for Girls Trip or any films we've done in the past, please let us know. We are Beyond the Box Set. You can find us at beyondtheboxset.com. Our podcast is available on all good podcasting platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, you name it, we're on it. If we're not on it, let us know and we will get on it. You can also contact us on social media, on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Just search Beyond the Box Set or at Beyond the Box Set on Twitter. And you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/Beyond the Box Set. And we have official merchandise available at tpublic.com. Just search Beyond the Box Set.
Great, okay. So I believe it's your choice next week.
It is my choice next week.
Very much my choice, and I'm staying proud with it.
As you should. It was a great choice. So I've chosen something a little bit different this week. I've chosen a film that came out earlier this year that you were actually very excited to watch. It came out around Oscar season, and you were very excited for us to go watch it, but then it kind of just didn't happen. The film in general, it was kind of on the Oscar.
I'm trying to remember the name. Something to Marwin.
Yes, so basically you've got it. We're going to do a film which I've not seen either, but it sounds interesting. I know it got bad reviews, but it sounds like it's certainly an interesting concept. So we'll see. I'd be interested to see it. So we are going to do the Steve Carell movie, directed by Robert Zemeckis, who also directed Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Forrest Gump, a lot of really good creative films. Welcome to Marwin.
Welcome to Marwin. Okay,
we're going to finally find out whether it was any good or not.
Sure.
Yeah. So join us next week, listeners, for welcome tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, great.
Thanks for listening. See you then.
Thank you. See you there.
Bye.
Girl, bye.